Hi, welcome to today's podcast. My subject today is grammar, and I'm not going to be discussing grammar in terms solely of reading comprehension. You know, when we think of grammar, we think of some pedantic professor forcing us to put commas and periods in the right places, or even correcting the mistakes we've made in a belligerent manner. Some of us have horror stories about grammar, right? We're always afraid of it. So when we think of grammar, we think of accuracy and correctness, but grammar is much more than that. And when I say the word grammar, what I mean is the system of rules or principles that really governs how words are put together to create meaning in our language or in any language. What we're looking at is the relationships between words in a sentence and the relationships between sentences that help us to create coherent paragraphs and essays. So for me, grammar is a larger term. It governs syntax, which is word order. It governs the way we express ourselves. Grammar, therefore, is the foundation of our communication. So that's what I mean when I say grammar. And I want to talk a little bit today about the relationship, the hidden relationship between grammar and math. So with the ominous Common Core math tests just a few days away in New York and other states, educators have begun to intensify their efforts to help students to solve what we call word problems. These word problems are the bane of students and teachers alike. Look, for the last several years, declining test scores have been blamed on these types of problems because they require reasoning as well as arithmetical skill. Why are word problems so disconcerting? To put it simply, the problem with word problems is the words. Students with poor reading skills, but sometimes competent math skills, inevitably have great difficulty with word problems because they cannot decode the syntax in which the problems are presented. And by syntax, I mean the word order, the way words are arranged to communicate the writer's thoughts. And some of syntax is done with great complexity. So here's where grammar, or the study of the order and function of words and word groups and sentences, can come to the rescue. For the key question in reading comprehension and therefore in analyzing and interpreting math word problems is, what is the sentence saying? It's not what problem I have to solve right away, but what is the sentence saying? So indeed, both confusion and comprehension begin where? On the sentence level. I want to say it again. In my studies with children, confusion and comprehension begin on the sentence level. Students who are unfamiliar with the parts of speech and their relationships within sentences will struggle with complex sentence structure, and they'll use most of their time and, unfortunately, working memory trying to figure out what the sentence is saying instead of seeking to solve the problem itself. By the time they get to the end of the words in the problem, they might still have very little idea about the solutions they're being asked to find and the methodology they're being asked to employ. Wouldn't it be a great idea then? Wouldn't it be wonderful for all schools to teach grammar systematically and sequentially from kindergarten through high school? Grammatical analysis would help students in every subject, for all subjects require reading. Reading comprehension, parents, begins with sentence comprehension. And to understand the whole sentence, students must learn to analyze its parts. Doesn't that make sense? In every area of life, we have to know the parts in order to know the whole. So, for example, if you take your car to a mechanic, that mechanic not only has to know the whole car, but has to be able to break it down into its parts to diagnose what your problem is and then be able to put that back together to fix the problem. I like that metaphor because in so many ways that's how sentences work. They have parts, and students can't read the whole sentence unless they're able to understand the parts, take them apart, and put them together. To take them apart is sentence analysis. To put them together is the art of writing. So, grammatical analysis would help students in every subject, for all subjects require reading. Students must know what the words mean and how the words have been arranged to create meaning. So when it comes to comprehending anything, including math problems that are cloaked and written in words, it's important for students to know not only what the words mean, but how the words have been put together to create meaning. This is why the parts of speech are so important. They are integral to understanding each sentence and how each sentence is related to other sentences in larger units, such as paragraphs and essays. Put simply, if students don't understand the parts, how can we expect them to understand the whole of anything, including math word problems? Parents and teachers, word problems would no longer be a problem if students understood the words in the problem.